Hello everyone, welcome to another video of CSE 111. So in this video we're going to talk about classes, objects and methods, the very basic of CSE 111. So let's talk about 110 a little bit. So in 110, whatever we did, we used to do stuff in this method, or if you don't know what a method is, let's just say that this something called public static void main string args, and inside these curly brackets, as you two of these, we did our stuff. So like if you wanted to take an int x equal to 10 and then you wanted to print this, and it was printed. So that was all in 111, like summation, division, whatever the code was, we did inside this method. Now you remember something in 111 called human tracing. So for example, I want to create an result sheet. So every student will have some identity. Oh, let me put it in an easier way. I want to create an identity card and a list of ID cards. So in an ID card, every student has their name, function, name, ID and department. Let's just keep it simple. So for example, for the first student, you will take a name. So for name, you will take string, right? String name equal to, now what, something like, let's just put a name, can't waste time there. So as far as ID, we will take int. We can also take long, short, but int is normal, so let's just take int, and we'll like 16101,390. That sounds good. Don't even try to search for that because that's not my ID. And department will be, let's just say BBS. I have no affiliations with BBS, don't get the wrong idea. So this is for one student. And now I can also do this, like print this tree. I want to print their IDs, so I will just go everywhere and print the name, the ID, and of course the department. Oh, it's huge, and I didn't choose anything. It will be string, and let's just keep it to depth. I'm too lazy to write department again, so depth, much better. And when you're using string, you need to put them on this, otherwise it won't work. So that's okay for our student whose name is Rakin, whose ID is 16101,390, and who's from the BBS department. So, but this is just one student, right? Now I want to have IDs of 3,000 students. Now do you think that is a great idea or an awesome programming if I have to write all of these 6 lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, not to mention these. Let's just forget those. I would write these 6 lines again and again. Now if you're a genius, you will say, okay, why don't you just copy this whole, then paste it again like this and so on, so then you can do that. But I still have to change 3,000 codes. Now maybe I will have to change 3,000 codes, but I want to install them, I want to call them whenever I need them. So this class is saved. How can I call this class? How can I store this information so that I can use them when I need it? Now every programming languages allow you to use a design. Satsar will explain this as a design, so I'm using that term. So what's a design? Design gives you a common outlook. For example, how will I explain this? Circle has a design. It's round, right? So no matter what kind of circle you give show me, one primary characteristics will be it will be round. Now it may have something inside, it may not have something inside, but the outside structure is round. That is common between all circles. Or you can also say BRAC students. BRAC students will have a BRAC ID card. So that's a design. The ID card design of BRAC University is different than IUB or North South or whatever. So this is design is something that we use for a common element. Now you don't have a different design or a different ID card for all students, right? Oh man, I'm so busy nowadays. Hold on. Sorry for the interruption. So where was I? So that's right. So we use design for a common output. So now I want to create a design so that whenever I have a new student, I will have a set of codes that I will just input the name, the ID and the department, and it will be saved. I don't have to write string name again, int ID again, string department again. So how do I do this? Now this is called a class. So we are already in a class, right? But you notice this part, this thing, this is actually a method. Now we will see this later. We'll need him later, so let's just keep him for now. Now I'm going to change this CSE 111 to a student class. Okay, what were the things that we required? I was telling you that we will need a name, so let's just put a name, a variable, string name. Let's keep it empty. We don't know what the name will be. This is keeping it empty. Let's set up an ID. What will you use for an ID? You can see here, int. So int ID. Do we know the ID of any student? No. So let's keep it like this, or you can simply keep it like this. It's the same thing. And another string for the department. Or you can also just, this. So an empty string, an empty ID, and an empty department, an empty name, sorry. So these are the three things I have stored. Now you may not have seen this before, that how can I do this without the public static void main? It's actually setting up some common variables. You can call it objects. No, not objects. Just think of it as an characteristics of a class. I will show you how we use it. Now you remember public static method main, right? Void main. So now we will write a similar thing. Public is okay. We will not use static. This thing called void. You know what? This is actually a thing that says no return. It may not make sense now. I'm telling you about this. So no return void, and you have to put a name. So I want to get the name. So let's just put. Oh great, I forgot. I've removed this here now. I don't want to cause some mess. Get name. Isn't this similar to this? Public, static is not available, void. Main was the name of this method. Get name is the name of this method. A bracket, as you can see over here. Except that this bracket has something written in it. I haven't written anything over here yet. And of course these two curly brackets. So this is a method. Now there are three types of method. Let me write them for you, and then I will show you what are the differences. String, yes. Oh, this is something new, huh? So these are 3 types of methods. Now I'm going to tell you what each of them do. What are the differences? Everyone has, you can say, privacy. Whether public here, in short, I'm telling you, it means that anyone can access this. So public is the same. Void, and here it's string. Get name. And this has something in it, and the others are empty. Now, void means no return. Nothing will be returned. What that means, I'm showing you. The part here actually means something that you will receive from the user or from another method. I will receive something? What do you mean? What I mean is, for example, let me bring back this public static void main. So these were the things. Now if I import I don't need scanner for this. Let's just put something. Before I go to that, let me talk about the third one. The third one, you see, it's not having void. You know what that means? It means it will send a string to you. If it was int over here, it will send an int to you. If it was double over here, it will send a double to you. Maybe it makes no sense. I'm showing you what this means. So let's pick up. You don't have to know this, but let's just put static for now. I have to do a lot of editing for this. Okay, I have to create a student class. I'm creating an object of the student class. I'm not going to explain object now, so we'll talk about this later. Let's just not talk about that now. Now you can see I have some information over here. Name, ID, department. I'm just putting some numbers over here so that the variables doesn't change, so you are not confused. So tell me a method. The first one, for example, I put something here, system.out.println hello Sydney. So this function will not receive anything, it will not send anything. I'm telling it to do one thing, to print out this message. Okay, now let's change the names. Get name 1, get name 2, get name 3. It has nothing to do with get names. Let's just put method 1, method 2, method 3. Now if I call method 1, how will I call it? I'm creating an object of student using the name s. So if I just put s dot empty1 was the name, right? Yep, empty1, and I'll have to put a brackets, and there you go. That's done. Now I'm going to compile. There could be some errors, I don't mind seeing them. Oh man, come on, just save it somewhere. As expected, there are some errors. And this will be this. Anything else? I hope not. Okay, return 0. I forgot to put some return over here. There you go. So now I'm going to call empty1, right? So the public static void main method I have over here, forget what's above. I have called method empty1. What was method empty1 supposed to do? It was supposed to print out hello Sydney. Now let's see if it listens to me. I'm calling it s.empty1. Come over here. Now I will run this program and see if it works. You can see it, but it actually worked. Let me show you. Come on. Here you can see it worked. So it worked. That means when I'm calling empty1, it is printing hello Sydney. What if I call it again? Will it say, hey, I came once already, right? Yes, it may not listen to me. Why will I call it twice? Oh, it doesn't mind. If you call it twice, it will answer you twice. What if I call it 6 times? It's the same thing. It will show you 6 times. So I'm calling a method and it's responding. It's doing the things I'm telling it to do. So if I write over here int x equal to 1 and then I print out x plus plus, now what happens? You are supposed to print x plus plus x1. Okay, there's a thing about pre-increment and post-increment. If you put this 2 plus before x, then it will print 2. The addition will occur, then it will be printed. But if you do this, it will print 1. I can show you that. So for x1, it will print 1. If you don't believe me, you can see this. It has printed 1 because the addition occurred later. But if I do this, look, it's 2. Ta-da! So when I'm calling a method to do something, it is doing whatever I want it to do. Isn't that amazing? Now I want to give this method something. You see this int I wrote here? I want to give it to the method externally. And so if you receive something, then just print out that thing. S. Now why S? Look, S, string S. Okay, so this S is over here. So this method empty2 will receive something over here in this S, and then it will use that thing. So it is just like this. S equal to something similar, just like this over this. I did it inside the method. Now I'm going to take it from somewhere else. So let's give it from somewhere else. So it's the same way, s.empty2. Now I'm going to send this name1, you see. Let's send it name1. So this name1 contains Rakin. Now the thing that is supposed to happen is Rakin will be over here, equal to name1, which is actually Rakin. So it should print Rakin, right? Now let's see if it works. So I'm sending the Rakin's name to method 2, not method 1, method 2, and it should print his name. Does it do that? Yes, it does. Here's Rakin. Now what if I tell him to print it twice? No, what if I tell it to print it something else? For example, this. Will it work? It doesn't mind whether you print something you receive or you don't print something you receive. It is okay. They don't care, right? So that's the function of method 2. So method 1 is basically nothing, so it just does something I tell it to do. Method 2 receives. Method 3, this has a different structure. It sends, it returns something. So it sends, pardon the weird names. Oh, if I change the names, then I will have to rename them again. I'm too lazy to do that, pardon me. So method 3. Now the thing over here is, you see this return, whatever I put here, it will be sent to where I'm showing you. For example, I put 100 over here, return 100, okay, nothing else. Okay, let's just say int x equal to 10 star 10, which is actually 100, and I'm going to return this x. Okay, so x is actually 100, right? So over here I'm going to take an int num, and I'm going to put here that method's value, empty tree. That's weird. So far we actually called those methods separately, but now I'm putting the method in a variable. How does that make any sense? It actually does, because these methods work for now is to return something. It will return 100. So after I do this, and if I print, I don't know how long this video is, I'm sorry if it's too long, print num, it should print 100 logically, because I'm returning 100 from this method, and then I'm putting that 100 in this variable, so logically it should print 100. I'm telling you again, we used this method. In this method we returned 100. 10 into 10 is 100, and we returned that x, which is actually 100, which is a double, and then that 100 was stored in this variable, and then I'm printing out that variable, so it should print 100 along with the other methods works. So let's see. Oh, I'm sending double and int, so let's solve that. It's easy. Now see, magic, that 100 is over here. Isn't that amazing? So this method did something. It didn't send anything, it didn't receive anything. Since it didn't send anything, it's void. Since it didn't receive anything, it's empty. This method didn't send anything, but it received a string, so it has string is over here. This method didn't receive anything. Oh, it's too neat. This method didn't receive anything, so this is empty, but this method sent an int, which is actually 100. Now you may ask, can I do both of these things in one method? Sure, you can. You can receive an int x over here, and you can also send back an int from here. But do you know what will happen if I do that? There are no errors now, for now, because when this method, okay, let me show you the error first. See, okay, I have to change this variable. That's not an issue. Look, found no arguments. Reason actual and formal argument list different element. What they're trying to say in simple language is, hey guys, I'm supposed to receive something over here, but you didn't send anything. look over here, I want an int. Without that int I cannot work, because x is equal to int, x is equal to y, and if I want to add x, I need that y, and if I need that y, I have to receive it. Since I need that y, I have to receive it. But you didn't send me anything. You gave me an empty parenthesis. I can't work like that. I can't. So the solution is easy. Send something. I'm sending 1000. Now does he mind? He doesn't mind, but something else minds, because I didn't put return here. He's saying now, okay guys, it's great that you sent a y, but look, I have int over here. I have to return something. You didn't tell me to return, so I'm telling him to return x. Now he's satisfied. Now he doesn't have any problems. I am removing these methods, so we just have one method now, which will do all three functions. So this method will receive something in y, he will put that value in x, and then it will print that value plus 1, and it can also return that value. So if I call this method now, this 1000 is supposed to go to y, and then 1000 will be stored in x, and then the method will print 1001, and then 1000 will be sent. So if it is sent, somebody has to receive it. So I have to write some variables. Int receive equal to this. Now let me play a game over here. System dot out dot print line rec. You have to understand what's going on over here. Over here 1000 is going here. It is now in y, and then that 1000 is stored in x. X has that 1000, and it is printing out system out print line plus plus x, that is 1001. But x has changed now, right? So x is now 1001, because I have incremented this, which actually means x equal to x plus 1. Now if I don't want to do that, I will have to write. Now does this change x? No, it doesn't. I'm showing you that. What's the scenario over here? System out print line 1 plus x, which is 1001. Okay, because x, y is 1000, and I have added 1 with this. But did that change the x? No, it didn't. So when I was printing record, which has the 1000 or the returned value over here, this is what goes to record. So you can say record equal to x, like this. It has not changed, so it is still 1000. Now what if I do that I did before? Now x has changed, so if you print this time, you will receive 1001 and 1001. So that's method, and in this way, this video is already too long, so I will stop here. In the next video, we will create some real methods to get some names, IDs and departments, and then we'll also talk about classes and methods, inshallah. Until that, see ya.